Hello everybody, I wanted to do a quick audio update on some of the highlights and lowlights from the Big Brother 27 live feeds last night, well, overnight. And, some of the highlights were, of course, I finally got a little bit of alcohol.
Welcome to Long Island.
Wasn't that a second date?
Remember when I was
Per usual, it's a very little bit in the Big Brother American house. They don't give hard liquor like some other countries tend to do, which is unfortunate because it could cause a lot more drama if they did. But we did have Morgan got a nice buzz on, and Morgan tried to get close to Zach per usual. And per usual, Zach looked pretty much like he had the ick anytime she was close to him. So, also, I believe he chose to marry Lauren in their knockoff fuck, marry, kill game. So if Morgan can't get a clue about his crush on Lauren now, then I don't know what will save her from her own crush on him that's going nowhere and is only making her look more and more cringe. Now, a highlight of Morgan's, though, is how much she's starting to hate that Catherine hates on Ashley. Since the feeds turn on, and since the first episode, we saw that Catherine was trying to throw Ashley under the bus for her supposed long-ass shower, which turns out was only 30 minutes. Ashley was in the HOH talking to Vince for most of those 2 hours that this shower was supposedly taking place, and Vince has since admitted that, which once again goes to me saying that you can't trust the edit in these episodes. But also, Vince is another one that hates on Ashley. Kat and Vince have bonded at times hating on Ashley. But sometimes Ashley seems like she is in a predicament where it's a no-win situation with some of these people. They give her shit for taking 2 hours shower and being clean, and then when she won't clean a plate, it's the end of the world. And sure, she should be cleaning up after eating. She's not like she's cooking either, but she's not the only one that doesn't clean the plates, but it seems to fall back on her. And it does sometimes border on microaggressions, which we've seen on this show many a times. I will say that Ashley, I've said this before, has a lack of tact. She's a Sagittarius. And so if people have a problem with her lack of tact, that would make sense to me. But people having problems with every little thing she does or doesn't do, that's when we're starting to get to a borderline issue for me. And it's more of an issue because I do like Ashley, as I've said before. So it's nice to see, though, that now that Big Brother actually has more of an inclusive casting, Morgan has been sticking up for Ashley, and so that's a good thing. It's ironic, though, because as I've talked about for many days now, Ashley is trying to get, not necessarily trying to get, but Ashley does want Morgan out of the game sooner rather than later, so that might become a problem for both ladies. But I liked Morgan not only going to Rachel and Amy to talk about how much shit Kat talks about Ashley and then tries to act like she's so innocent in the house in general, but also when Kat was saying that she hates that Ashley's still in the house, Morgan told Kat to her face that it's not a problem that Ashley's still in the house.
I know, but then Ashley's still fucking here.
Right.
There's nothing wrong with Ashley being here.
So while Morgan was cringe with Zach per usual, I gained a lot of respect for Morgan in sticking up for Ashley, even though I think Ashley gets on Morgan's nerves at times too. Ashley talks too much. Morgan can be a bit much when trying to talk about her own plans. She likes to shut people down when people are interrupting her when she's talking. We've seen her done that to Jimmy. She's done it to Ashley as well. But good for Morgan for sticking up for Ashley, even though she doesn't know that Ashley kind of wants her out of the game. I'm hoping that Amy goes home, to be honest, I think. Because, look, she's not good for her allies' games right now. I guess it's not that I'm hoping she goes home, but Amy is a lot. Amy has some bad reads. And Ashley sometimes has some good ones. But when Ashley and Amy are together, their reads become really, really bad. They are not a great duo when it comes to strategic talks together. And it can become a little iffy to watch them talk about the game when their reads together become so bad, because sometimes apart, Ashley can have some good reads. And the same thing happens with Rachel and Amy's little duo. Not that they have bad reads together, but Rachel fights so hard for Amy to stay in this game. We saw it last week. We're already seeing it this week, and Amy's not even on the block yet. Meanwhile, Amy sometimes be talking about Rachel like Rachel's just delusional. And it really does suck on Amy's part, because she has a chance to go up on the block again, and she's not really doing anything to save herself. Meanwhile, Rachel's about to work overtime to try and save her again. So I think my big problem is that if Amy were to go, it could really help Rachel and Ashley's strategic games become better. The big problem for them both is that they will lose a number if Amy goes, and that actually could be bad too. So, like I said, I kind of want Amy to go just to see what it does to Amy and Rachel's games, if it actually helps them strategically. But at the same time, them losing a number could be bad for their games too. That brings me to Adrian, though, who is still on the block and is still going to be on the block after the veto ceremony, no matter who he's up against. If Jimmy only has to nominate one person or two people, Adrian's still going to be up on the block. And we have Adrian sitting up talking to Will overnight, talking about how he might just throw the blockbuster competition. Adrian feels so safe on the block. A lot of that's Jimmy's fault. Like I said last night, Jimmy has kind of hyped him up that he's going to be safe no matter what, because Jimmy's the HOH and Jimmy's going to get what he wants. But it would be really, really stupid for Adrian to throw that competition, because he doesn't understand that he is actually not that safe this week. Jimmy is losing some of his allies, or at least they might not vote the way he wants them to vote because they're seeing Jimmy playing scared. I don't know what Adrian's doing. Adrian hyped himself up so high coming into this game that he was going to be the best Big Brother player ever, but I'm not seeing anything from him. As I said last night, Lauren's getting a lot of crap online for being a waste of a casting because it doesn't seem like she's playing hard. But playing hard in these first few rounds is kind of dumb because you might overplay. It's a long game. And maybe that's what Adrian knows, that it's a long game, so he's trying to stay low key. But when you're on the block, the story kind of changes. The game should kind of change a bit. And I think that the big problem with Adrian is that he just got way too close to Callie way too soon. And Callie's an idiot. And I think Callie is kind of rotting Adrian's game brain, because she's definitely in his head and not in a good way. Hopefully Adrian can fix that today after the veto ceremony, because he needs to do something for sure. Lastly, let's talk quickly about Jimmy. I think he's really losing some allies. The fact that Mickey set up last night and talked about how she would be okay if Keanu won HOH and got Jimmy out next round. Jimmy, I think, is making a mistake of listening to Kat and Morgan too much. Not Kat and Lauren too much. And of course, Mickey and Morgan don't like that he seems to actually be listening to Kat and Lauren a little bit. It's not that he's really listening to them, though. It's that he's listening to Vince. Vince is kind of the person getting his way this week with Jimmy's HOH. Vince built trust with Jimmy last week by not putting him up. And Jimmy seems to trust Vince a whole lot this week. But in listening to Vince about his renoms, it's also like he listened to Keanu too. Keanu was the biggest person pushing Will to go up on the block. And so if Jimmy's listening to his supposed biggest rival in the house about who should be a replacement nom, that is pretty damn dumb. Last night I said if he gets Will out, it would not change much in the house, and I still think it wouldn't change the dynamic too much. But it would probably hurt Jimmy's game a lot because he listened to his biggest rival. He's kind of pushing away his biggest allies. He doesn't even realize it. And so, yeah, by the end of this HOH, Jimmy might have made a mess for himself. It's not totally his fault because of all the ridiculous powers in 1 week. I'd like to see Jimmy recover because he does have a good social game, and I do think he can. But, he might need to start to realize that he needs to talk to his actual allies a little more because, yeah, they're talking some crazy shit. Because it would be stupid for Mickey and Morgan to want Jimmy out before Keanu. Because Keanu wants Jimmy out, and like Keanu's not going to work with any of them anytime soon, I don't think. I think Keanu is way more closer to the Callie and the Vinces as well. Yeah, it's kind of a mess. Jimmy is making a mess for his own game, but possibly others' games as well.